drafting running backs in your rookie drafts is pretty much like playing roulette. So is there any kind of system we can use to identify which running backs could be successful from a fantasy and dynasty perspective when you're going through and doing these rookie drafts? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Actually, there is.
I'm super excited.
And we can narrow it down some. Can we narrow it down to like, this is the guy? No. But we can say the guy's coming from this group. Because when you look at, from a points per game perspective, the top 36 running backs in fantasy football production last year, the top 36 of them, when you look at their college yards per reception, 32 out of 36 of the top 36 producing running backs last year had a college YPR above 9. Above 9. And you might say, okay, that's pretty standard. It's not. So let's go ahead and look at some data here. Let's look at 2017. We have data back to 2017. Look, I mean, you got, 3 quarters here. 2018, 2/3. 2019, half. 2020, pretty much all of them. 2021, most of them. 2022, almost half. 2023, less than half. Less than half.
That's rough.
So in some classes, yes. In better, deeper running back classes, yes, we have guys that average over 9 yards per reception in their college career as a running back. But look at this year's. There are, I'm counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 guys out of the, I think, 22 or 23 guys that are on this list that averaged over 9 yards per reception. So if you look at history, I mean, you're looking at 2023 from a points per game perspective. Like I said, 89% of those running backs had yards per reception in college higher than 9. But let's keep going. In 2022, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 8. So that would be 28 of 36 had over 9. Let's go to 22 from a points per game perspective. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 30 of 36 there. Let's go to 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 29 of 36 had over 9. Let's keep going. 21 points per game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing. 29. So you're talking at the lowest like 28 or 29. And I'm here to tell you, friends, that's pretty good. I mean, you're talking 80% or higher there.
That's
every single year.
Very telling. And this is something that we've been talking about for a while. Not just the receiving upside of a running back going into the NFL as college prospects is what's going to make us higher on that specific running back. It's what they do with those receptions. Everyone says receiving upside. Everyone says the running back position is changing and they need to do more in the receiving game. That is correct. But they can't just catch the ball. They provide value to their teams by what they do after the catch because, generally they're catching the ball closer to the line of scrimmage. So what can they do after the catch? Can they be an actual weapon in their respective offenses? And my guess has been for the last year, I always had a ballpark number of about 9 yards per reception. And I was pretty close. The official number is 8.25.
Yeah, 8.25 is what he set it at. So I should clarify that. But it doesn't change the fact that when you're looking at this year's running back class, a lot of guys did not meet that. Let's start. We're going to analyze this 2 ways. Let's look at the guys who meet that threshold this year and the guys who don't meet that threshold this year. Because again, 80% accurate in predicting top 36 producing running backs in fantasy football. Yeah, and talking about these running backs can get a little bit confusing, and it's honestly a lot to handle, especially in a year where, there aren't a lot of very prominent guys. There's no standout guys. It's actually a pretty weak class.
Right.
There is no better way to sort through this than our rookie draft guide. Here's an example of one of our pages from our rookie draft guide. We have these for over 35 players, and we are adding more and more with each version. Our second version will come out after the combine, but the idea is by the time we're done with this, you're going to have strategy, you're going to have what you should be doing at certain picks, you're going to have our rankings, you're going to have player profiles. You should be able to have this open during your rookie draft and nail your rookie drafts. This video, information from this video is going in there. So flockfantasy.com/domain. You have to use code domain and you get a team blueprint and you get the rookie draft guide from us. Again, want a team blueprint, you want to get access to our Discord, our listener leagues, which we'll be drawing for soon. All of that and more when you use code domain when you sign up and choose the mother flock at flockfantasy.com/domain. Like I said, you have to use code domain and you get these 2 very pretty things. So good deal. But even so, moving forward here. So looking at the guys in this year's class that meet that threshold. First of all, number 1, Marshawn Lloyd, a guy that we've said for a while now could be a sleeper in this class. Averages the most yard per reception. I think he only had 13 receptions, if I remember right, his senior year. You'll have to fact check me on that, Luke.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But 13 yards per reception. It was pretty good. It's 200-something yards, if I remember. And then we've got, guys that are in the 20s in the bakery, Ryan Bread's bakery score, which is a big analytical model that projects out how these guys are going to do in the NFL. Very well done. A ton of in-depth statistical analysis there. Jonathan Brooks is third, and Trey Benson is fourth. Okay, moving down. Audric Estime, 10. Jace McClellan, 10. Some other guys that are lower in the 20s. Frank Gore Jr. is there, though. And then the last guy above this is Carson Steele, who, by the way, hometown hero from Center Grove, Indiana, where I live.
Ooh, nice.
But
I love seeing Jace McClellan there, actually.
I do too. And I'm actually adding him to the second version of our rookie draft guide because I do think he's going to be somewhat relevant if he gets, respectable draft capital. Like, I think he's got a chance.
Right.
But let's talk about the guys up top. Here are the 4 guys that I really think have a legitimate shot of ending up on that top 36 list. Marshawn Lloyd, I think, does have a legit shot.
Yes.
That we're calling our shot there.
Jonathan Brooks,
Trey Benson, and Audric Estime. Those are the 4 guys I'm looking at in this class that meet that threshold, that 80% to 90% threshold that I'm looking at, and I'm saying, now I really like those guys. Now,
if you were to pick one of Jace McClellan or Frank Gore Jr. to be in that list too, which one would you pick? Because they're going to almost inevitably get lesser draft capital.
Probably McClellan would be my pick.
I think I'd go McClellan as well.
So, again, it doesn't guarantee they're going to be a top 36 running back, but the top 36 running backs all have this in common for the most part. So it does mean, okay, I can look at this and there are 4 guys I'm confident in. Now, you'll notice, if you watch us a lot, we are notable lovers of one Braylon Allen. Okay, so I was looking at this list, and I was like, okay, moving down, where's Braylon Allen? Okay, still going down. Okay, where's Braylon Allen here? Okay, and I kept going, and I'm like, where's Braylon Allen? Okay, and then I was like, 5.5? Oh, no. So then I got really discouraged because I'm like, okay, if Braylon Allen is really that low, surely we're missing something here. And I want to clarify on Braylon Allen something that I think needs to be clarified. Braylon Allen is not going to be a guy that comes in as a workhorse back and is an all-around dominant back in the NFL. Not going to be that. Never was going to be that. But Braylon Allen probably will be a touchdown threat in the NFL, and that is going to make him potentially fantasy relevant. Let's shift gears now, Nathan. Let's shift gears now, and let's talk about some guys that are on the top 36 list in the last couple years that were top, 36 producing running backs in fantasy that did not meet that threshold. Let's take a look at that. So when you're looking at this last year, let's look at 2023. I think there's 6 guys here.
Yep. In total points.
Yeah. Raheem Mostert, 6.42. Pacheco, 5.47. Pacheco, outlier altogether. Andy Reid offense, playing with Patrick Mahomes, it makes more sense when you think about it that way. David Montgomery, 8.24. Barely underneath that threshold.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker, 7.
And he's not looking too good.
Ezekiel Elliott, 7. And Devin Singletary, almost 8. So, in points per game, again, same guys. Mostert, Pacheco, Montgomery, and Kenneth Walker. But when I'm looking through, historically, some of the guys in the past that have been successful with lower yards per reception data. Let's look at 2022. Here are some guys. The number 15 in 2022 in total points was Miles Sanders with a yards per reception of 5.9. Kenneth Walker, 7.1. Ezekiel Elliott again, Singletary, Montgomery, Raheem Mostert again. So again, a lot of the same guys there. But again, Miles Sanders was a notable guy there. And then even the year before that, I mean, a lot of the same guys. Ezekiel Elliott was higher. Damian Harris was up there. Devin Singletary, David Montgomery. But none as low as Braylon Allen. But one thing I did notice when I was looking through this data is that when you're looking at the running back and overall score for guys that did not meet that threshold, starting in, let's look at 2022, for example. When you're looking at the guys in the red that didn't meet that threshold here, there is one guy down there that has a running back score and an overall score in the green. Who is that guy, Nathan?
Kenneth Walker.
Right? All right, let's keep going. Let's go back to 2021 and see if there's anybody there. There's only really 2 guys in 2021, not a ton in 2020. But let's go to 2019. There's one guy down there with a bakery score pretty high, overall score pretty high. Who's that guy, Nathan?
Miles Sanders.
Okay.
Montgomery's right around there at 8.24, but it's mainly Miles Sanders.
Fair enough. Yeah. So, one more guy. Let's go to 2017. There's not many of these guys. When you're looking at the red here, below our threshold of 8.25 yards per reception, not many guys with a high enough running back score and overall score in the bakery. Kareem Hunt. Now, looking at 2023, Braylon Allen way down there at the bottom.
2024.
And this is 20. Thank you.
Yep.
What year is it? 2024.
Yeah.
And again, this is theoretical, hypothetical draft capital. So things can change. But this is projecting that Braylon Allen, I think in the bakery, Braylon Allen right now, he put in as a 3rd or 4th round pick, which I think is still very, very doable. Let's see. Draft capital. Third round pick.
It looks like Ryan's scores are finding the outliers with the running backs that don't quite meet that threshold.
I'm telling you, the bakery is pretty good. We're working on having the bakery available to everybody. That will happen in the future. But it's good. I'm telling you it's good. I mean, using a combination of against statistical analysis, linear regression, I think he's really, really nailed this. And again, one thing that we've noticed is that when you have those guys under that threshold, usually the bakery is like, hello, over here.
Mm-hmm. Like
well
under that
That's
threshold.
happening with Braylon Allen here. And I think part of the reason that's happening is because, from an analytical standpoint, Braylon Allen's profile is not that bad. And Braylon Allen, again, does project to be a fantasy relevant back in the NFL purely based on the fact that he brings a skill set from a size standpoint that can be utilized and will be utilized alongside a receiving back. You look at the receiving dominator rating of Braylon Allen. I mean, it's not that high when you're looking at Braylon. I mean, even just looking at our rookie draft guide, as much as we talk up Braylon Allen, a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't really see why you could be so high on him. This is just a small portion of this video, but here's what I want you to understand. And I was really, really fascinated when I found this. There are outliers, and usually we can find them, and Braylon Allen right now is projecting to be an outlier for this statistic.
Yeah.
So it makes us almost a little bit more confident in projecting these guys out to you. Looking at some guys that did not meet the threshold for this year's class. Go ahead. Some notable names in 2024.
Yeah, Bucky Irving's going to be a big one. Now, he's at 8.22 for career yards per reception in college right now, so he's right there. So it's not like he's totally out of the mix. If you like him, it's fine. If he gets good draft capital, that will change his grade, though, and that'll be a big part in determining can he actually have success at the NFL level. I would say Ray Davis is another one. A lot of people like Ray Davis. Blake Corum is the one that really that sucks. And then Will Shipley, a guy that I've been very vocal about as well, who has gotten respectable receiving usage in Clemson, has not shown to be as effective as I would like to see him be to really translate at the NFL level.
I'll add in Jalen Wright. A lot of people.
Yeah.
He's their sleeper. People ask, why aren't we high on Jalen Wright? Why aren't we? There's a lot of reasons. First of all, his analytical profile does not grade out super well.
If he doesn't get good draft capital, and this we already know holds true with his yards per reception,
he would have to be an outlier.
I'm out. Yeah.
We will have Jalen Wright in our second version of the rookie draft guide. But again, looking at these guys, the odds are, again, when you're talking about a top 36 producing running back in fantasy football, the odds are that the guys here, they have I can't say they have a 20% chance. That doesn't necessarily directly correlate, but the data. 80%, 90% of the guys are in that top 36.
When you're talking metric. Points per game, it is dang near 90%.
Dang near 90%.
That's insane.
It's a little bit hard to argue with, actually. For a long time, and analytics aren't everything. You have the eye test, you have the draft capital, you have the Pachecos of the world that just go to good situations. Even the Kyron Williams of the world, Williams didn't really grade out in the bakery as that good a prospect. And when you're looking at what he's been able to do in his first couple of years, it's solid. He's obviously been very solid. And he did meet that threshold, though. He did meet that threshold. Yeah. So, and he does play into this data point as well. So, I think this is a very interesting and telling statistic. It's a simple one. It's not, but again,
it's simple, but there's some complicated qualifiers where you really kind of have to. I think the one thing that we do know, and this will always be the truth, is that draft capital always reigns supreme. This is a market value play. This isn't a long-term success thing. Like we're finding the outliers from a market perspective. Kenneth Walker, he was an outlier from a market value perspective because he increased in value due to his draft capital, and that was really, really good for him. Guess what, though? Long-term, Kenneth Walker ain't looking too good right now. Aside from the injury, he doesn't look like one of the better running backs in the NFL right now. And when you're looking at a guy like Miles Sanders, he had to be put in an incredible situation on top of draft capital for him to be effective. And now he's away from the Philadelphia Eagles, and he looks like garbage. Kareem Hunt, I think, would be the one guy where I'd say, I mean, that is like a true outlier of outliers. And even then, he was way better in Kansas City than he has been in Cleveland, splitting time with Nick Chubb. But, I mean, overall, as a career running back, he has been very, very solid. So I would look at him, and that's a 2017 running back. He was kind of that bridge between, like, old school running backs to modern day NFL style running backs who are becoming more and more dependent on what they can do in the receiving game. So this is something that we definitely want to continue to track and follow, and we'll keep adjusting this data as we go into future seasons to see, hey, is this threshold kind of changing? Is it moving up from 8.25 to maybe 9 or maybe even higher? Or maybe we'll get lucky and it goes a little bit lower and we'll see more and more outliers. That would be nice. But I mean, as of right now, in the 7 years of data that we've pulled, 8.25 or higher is what you're looking at for that range of like, okay, can they be successful at the NFL level given that they get good draft capital? Because when you look at the positive side, when you look at the guys that meet the threshold this year, like there's some random names in here, like Dijun Edwards, Jawar Jordan, guys, they're probably not going to get drafted.
Again, it doesn't mean that they're going to be studs.
It doesn't guarantee that they're going to hit.
But the studs have this in common.
Yes.
So the studs will come from this pool. And again,
if they get solid day 2 or decent day 3 draft capital, like early part of day 3, 4th or 5th round, you could look at them as potential sleepers if they meet this threshold in the yards per reception metric.
And so what is the application here? The application is, this is going to give you some guidance in a class where we have no idea, and I would guess we're going to have no idea when it comes time to actually draft in our rookie drafts which running backs to draft. This can give us a more guided dart throw. Again, we talk about all the dart throws in this, I mean, past the mid-second, into the 3rd, into the 4th. Really, that's where most of these running backs are going to be this year. We talk about dart throws being like, yeah, you really have a toss-up shot. And a guided dart throw may give you a 5 or 10% chance higher to hit on one of these guys. So we're talking about dart throws. Marshawn Lloyd will be a guided dart throw this year for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling more from this than I am from the yards per route run metric, which is pretty predictive with wide receivers. It gives you a 50-50 shot or a little bit better. This is better.
So you want to take guided dart throws. Here's your pool of guys: Marshawn Lloyd, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Audric Estime, Jace McClellan, Frank Gore Jr., and Carson Steele are the guys I'd comfortably say that I would take guided in between the late 2nd and the 4th round. If you want to take a shot on a running back, these are the ones that statistically are more likely to hit than their counterparts. Doesn't mean we're not drafting the guys down below. It doesn't. I'm probably going to draft some Bucky Irving. I'm going to draft some Blake Corum and some Will Shipley. But I'm probably drafting more of these guys because numbers don't always tell the full story, but they at least tell part of it. And this story to me says there's a correlation here. There has been for multiple years. We're talking about going back about 7 years now almost. And I think the NFL only getting more pass happy. This statistic should be even more telling than it was in 2017.
Yeah. Keep these guys in mind that we mentioned for this class because they're gonna move up our rankings. The ones that have good metrics here, like Frank Gore Jr., a guy that neither of us have thought very highly of. Look, if he can get respectable enough draft capital with this receiving upside, I'm a little bit more interested in taking a guided dart throw at him. For guys like Blake Corum, who we have notably been high on, guys like Will Shipley, who I've been notably high on, we're gonna need to see them get probably day 2 draft capital, like late day 2 draft capital for me to really be sold on them now, which is unfortunate.
100% agree. And like I said, we have analytical profiles and one-stop shop information in our 2024 rookie draft guide, which again is available at flockfantasy.com/domain. Like I said, use code domain, get a team blueprint, and get our rookie draft guide along with a Discord, our leagues. We're drafting for our leagues on March 1st, so that's coming up. But with the combine coming up, we'll have version 2 of the rookie draft guide coming out here very soon. So like I said, use code domain when you sign up. Come join us over there. Come join the community. We'd love to have you. And also, we'll give you the full breakdown of all of our rookie content over there when you join with us. So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you drop a like and make sure you subscribe. Those 2 things help us out a ton. Appreciate you guys so much. See you later.